Hello, America. This is Keith, your friendly neighborhood technician, coming at you with some more wonderful information. Today, we're going to figure out how do I take out my drawer in my freezer of my French door refrigerator. Well, it's not a lot of fun, but you can do it. Okay, this is your basic Whirlpool. Okay, now what we're going to do is we want to take this drawer out. It doesn't just pop out like other manufacturers, but we're going to show you how to do it today. First, it's actually not real difficult. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this so it's easier for you to see what I'm doing. Okay, all right, so it's basically a 1/4 inch screw. Okay, you don't have to take it out, you just have to loosen it. Okay, now some of the models have 2 screws, some of the models have 4 screws. If you can see this down there, you have to loosen it. This one you can't see it, so you don't have to worry about that. We'll make 2 different designs. You loosen it, pick it up, and it pulls right off. Okay, we're going to set it aside. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to pop out this and or this out. See, it doesn't lift because you've got what over here is a clip. This is what's holding the drawer in. Okay, now there's a couple ways to do it, none of which are good. This is the best way I found not to damage your fridge and not to damage anything. I'm going to need a flathead screwdriver, and I use my long Phillips head just because it gives me a little more distance. So what I want to do is, you see this right here? This is what has to pop out. So what I want to do is I want to push it over a little bit, and I want to get my screwdriver just about like this. Okay, and I'm going to put this here. Okay, and I'm basically going to just go pop, and now this will come right out. Okay, this is what is holding your drawer in. Okay, this does not bend, this does not flex. Yes, there is a little bit of hole there, but you really can't get in there to push it and deform it because this is obviously in the way. Now, like I said, what's that? You take it, push it off just a little bit, and you want it, not at the bottom, but towards the bottom. Okay, and then you're going to take your other screwdriver, let's say, put it like this, and then you're going to basically go until it pops. Okay, now you don't have to use a screwdriver. Okay, but if you don't use a screwdriver, you're going to damage this area right here. I'll show you what I mean. I'm not going to damage this one, but I'll show you what I mean. Okay, if I do that, push this here, put that in there, you see right now I'm resting on my plastic and my metal there, and I have to put some pretty good force to get it to come out. If I don't use something in here to wedge it, I'm going to damage this, either crack it or bend it or smush it, and we don't want to do that. But that's why I use this in here. Okay, because now if you see, okay, I'm not even close to touching that. Okay, and when I do pop it out, it never allows me to get to the side here. If you don't use something like this, it's going to dent your fridge. Is that going to affect your fridge? No, but it will always be there. You'll know it's always there, and that's never a good thing. Now this lifts right out. Okay, and to get this one out, you have to get this one out. So these have to come out. Okay, and then this will just lift. It does come out. Look, obviously it's not rocket science. You can do this at home. It's pretty easy. Now, putting it back together again, don't force it. It will go in. You may hear a little bit of creaking and crackling, but that's not a big deal. Okay, so you want to get it. Now, if we look at this real quick, I want to show you something. You see this, and this? They're on both sides. Okay, they correlate to this, and this. Okay, this hook actually goes back under here. Okay, so you're going to want to put it back in, bring it in, and then set it down. I'll show you what I mean. And it gets a little tricky. See, there we go. Now, I want to make sure my back is in there. Okay, but now you see I have an angle because my back's not hooked underneath. So you want to get your back hooked underneath, want to pull it forward, and now see how it sits in there nice and easily. If not, like I said, it's real easy. Do this, and now you're cattywampus. You don't want that. So like I said, it's just taking it back, getting the back in. Okay, and like it takes a little bit of practice. Okay, and it'll sit down just like that. Then you go to this side, you do the same thing. Okay, pick it up, put it in, and boom, you're back in. This is a whole lot easier because it's basically just sits there and slides. Okay? Make sure your drawer's all the way up. Put it back in the glides. See? Now my drawer, okay, doesn't work. Now, you did not hear this from me. I do not recommend it. I would recommend against it. You don't have to put those back in. But I wouldn't recommend that because you will lose them. And then any knucklehead can come by, grab it wrong, and it pulls itself out. You don't want to do that. You always want to make sure whatever you take off, you put back on. Okay? And now that I've got this back together, these just pop in. There's a little bit of damage there, but that's nothing to worry about. That, unfortunately, has to happen to do what we need to do. Okay? So this, then, line it back up. And the nice thing is, if you ever question, you have an L and an R. Standing for left and right. And it's always as you look at the machine, not from the side, not from the back, or the front. So my left will go in on the left, and realistically, they can only go in one way. There's no way that is going to fit in there. And if you can make that fit in there, that's pretty impressive. Wrong and bad, but pretty impressive. Okay, so basically hit it, push it back in, and it pops right back in. Okay, and you do the other side just like that. Boom, it's done. Now see, if you just yank on this, you're probably going to break this, and it is not going to let you out. So like I said, you want to make sure you get in there. And like I said, it's basically easy. You know, move this out, put this in there, put your screwdriver in there, okay? And like I said, it just pops out. Once it's been done once, it's easier the second and third time. It's the initial time that's the hardest one to do, but after that, you should have no problem. And see, pops right back in, okay? And then you put the door back on. I've got a hook there, and I've got a screw there. These have to go in the same way, otherwise you're going to be a little weird. I'll show you what I mean by that. So you pull it out, get it out, okay? And we'll bring it over here. And now see, I can actually put my top in without my bottom. And what happens is if you do this, okay, I'm intentionally doing this wrong on purpose, okay? See what I mean? And then when you close it, your door is really, really off. So you kind of want to get the bottom in first and then drop it in the top. Okay, so what you do, you pick it up and, okay, put one side in, then go to the other side and do the other side. I haven't screwed in, but I will. Now, obviously, you want to tighten it, but before I tighten it, I want to make sure I'm good there. Okay, now that I know I'm good, take my 1/4 inch ratchet and make sure you tighten it down. Because if you don't tighten it down, that's what happens. Okay, and yes, if you forget to tighten it down, you'll be like, oh, that sucks. Okay, and then you got to put it all back together again. Go find your 1/4 inch to tighten it down, which you already had in your hand previously. Okay, so like I said, just do one side at a time. Okay, tighten down your screws so you don't lift your door off by accident when you open it up the next time. Because everybody knows, everybody pulls correctly. We pull down and straight out. We all know we do that. You had no right. But like I said, if you don't tighten up, you will lift it off. And then it's kind of going, oh, boo-boo head. And then once I tighten it back down, you don't have to take the screws out. You just have to loosen the screws. Now, it's good and solid. It's not going anywhere. And that's how you replace or take the drawers out of your Whirlpool French door bottom mount freezer. Don't forget to subscribe and like this YouTube channel. Come back more next week for some more wonderful information, and have a good day.